What's good, everybody? It's your boy Nikita. We're back with another video. Yes, we're doing 2 in 1 day because I did not record for you guys yesterday. So I told you guys, well, I posted on YouTube, or I posted on here, don't know if people see those or not, that I would bring you guys 2 today to make up for missing 1 yesterday. So that's what we're here to do. We're going to talk about, basically it's just going to be a check-in before holidays / before the new year for women's college basketball, because this week there's no games after Tuesday, and there's not really any big games coming up in the next 5 or so days. So we're just going to talk about some things that have happened over the past couple of days, some things that we can look forward to for the rest of the season and things like that. So again, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, tap in, and yeah, let's get into it. Today we had Iowa State had to crawl. I don't want to say crawl, but like they had to dig deep to get a really good win at home against Kansas. Kansas is a good team. Kansas has been a good team for the last couple of seasons. But they started out the first quarter, Kansas was shooting the 3-ball really well. They really shot the 3-ball all throughout the game, but specifically in that first quarter, first half. Audie Crooks had a phenomenal start to the game. I think she had 20 points before we even got to halfway through the second quarter, if I'm not mistaken. And it was basically, like I tweeted about it, but it was basically Kansas threes against Audie Crooks and Addie Brown layups. And it was like, which side can make more? Which you're probably going to make more layups than the other team is going to make threes, but the threes count for more depending on how many threes you're able to make. But that's neither here nor there. It was a fantastic game. Came down to the wire. Samaya Nichols tied it up. And then Kinsey Hare. There was a great pass from Addie Brown, by the way. I don't know. I didn't see too much conversation about it. Obviously, after the game, they talked to Audie Crooks and things like that. But the play was set for the ball to go to Audie Crooks, but there was only 4 seconds on the clock when they inbounded the ball. They got it to Addie Brown. They kind of shaded, kind of helped on Audie. So Addie Brown, instead of making the pass inside and Audie Crooks probably having to shoot over 2, she basically threw a no-look overhead pass to the corner, which was a phenomenal pass because Kinsey Hare was just able to catch it and shoot it as quick as possible, and nothing but the bottom of the net at the buzzer. Phenomenal play, phenomenal game, phenomenal shot from Kinsey Hare. And this is why we love conference games, just because you can't take any games for granted, because on any given night, a team can get you. Whether you're at home or at their crib, it's just, especially it's the opening of conference play for some teams. There's a lot of confidence. And especially when you're playing a big team, you're playing a top 10 team like you're playing Iowa State. And there was different times throughout the game where I just saw Kansas, not only were they very confident, but they were trying to keep each other confident. They were going in timeouts and they were looking at each other we can win this. All we got to do is this, keep playing the way we're playing. And for a while, it looked like it was going to work. And then Iowa State went on a run. Kansas was able to fight back. And then, obviously, like I said, Kinsey Hare made that game-winning shot. But phenomenal game nonetheless. Can't wait to see how Kansas plays the rest of the season. Would not be surprised to see them ranked at some point if they're able to play like that. And they were missing two key players. One player that averages 17 points a game, another player that averages about 10. So if you get both of those players back and everybody that was playing today can play at a high level like they were in this game, there's a lot that they can accomplish in the Big 12. And then I don't know if Talia Scott is playing today. I would assume no. I haven't been able to check in on the game yet, but I would assume she's not. That ankle injury looked bad. But if she is, shout out to her, because that injury did look really bad. Sienna Betts has made her debut on Tuesday, and then she played last night. Last night I think she had 14 points. So that was it's good to see her on the court. Good to see her playing, especially for a UCLA team that, not to say they couldn't use her, but obviously, if you have that kind of talent on your team or on your roster, you want them to play. So I think they've been playing good basketball. I think we're seeing a better version of Lauren Betts. I know there was a lot said about her at the start of the season, but I just feel like sometimes, you gotta ease into a season, or you gotta just like let things happen. In a season, I think a lot of times when players have these expectations, they feel like they have to come out and do certain things or show that they can do these things that they worked on in the offseason instead of just playing their games, playing their style of basketball. And I think Lauren Betts is getting back to that and just playing a good brand of basketball. And as long as she plays the way that Lauren Betts can, UCLA is going to be just fine. I'm really excited for just conference play to start, just because not to say like I'm tired of I am not gonna lie, I'm tired of watching some of these teams play, teams that we know they're gonna beat without even having to really watch the games. And it's just more entertaining, it's more intriguing when there's a chance that a team can lose, when a team has to play well to win the game. Like, if you played 70%, you probably still be able to beat some of the teams that you've played in non-conference. But if you play 70% against, I don't know, a Cal or something like that, you're going to lose, because those players are good enough to beat you if you're not playing at your best level. So we do have USC in California tonight. I think USC should win that. But this is a game where if you don't show up and you're not shooting the ball well and you're not playing at a high level, you can lose. I will say we've seen some really good output. Audie Crooks had 40 today, by the way. So we've seen some players. Sarah Strong and AZ Fudd have phenomenal performances against Iowa. And this is why I was asking, like, who's going to be the National Player of the Year, because Sarah Strong is the best player in the country. But it's hard to say that she's just, in terms of number-wise, it's going to be hard to just put her over certain people, especially AZ Fudd, because, again, it's going to come down to how they both perform in big games, and both of them have played really well in big games. Like, AZ Fudd probably has the nod because of the Michigan game. That was their most difficult game, and she played the best in that game. They definitely don't win that game if she doesn't have the performance that she did. So she gets the nod for that. And then they both had a phenomenal game. I think Sarah Strong had 27 and AZ had 24 or 25, something like that. They both played great. And I do want to give some credit to Louisville as well. Louisville with the blowout win over Tennessee. That's a big win. I talked about it yesterday, or talked about it the day before yesterday. Going into that game, I was on the fence. I almost said I was going with Tennessee, and then I, was like, maybe, you know what? I just felt like Louisville had more ways that they could win, more ways that they could impose their will offensively and defensively than Tennessee does. And that's not to say that Tennessee's not a really good team, because I still think they could be really good in their conference schedule, but there's got to be a little bit of like change and a little bit of variety for them as far as what they're capable of doing offensively for them to be one of the best teams in the country, I feel like. We don't have any games until Sunday after Tuesday, so teams are going on like holiday breaks and things. And then we come back and we've got UCLA, Ohio State. Maybe I'll do a game preview for that. I want to see UCLA play against another top team. Obviously, Ohio State's not like a top 10 team or anything like that, but I still want to see them in this kind of setting. Just to see how they feel, how they look as a group. I like what I've seen from Gabby Hawkes this year. I like what I've seen from Charlize Ledger-Walker. She's shooting the three ball really well. Kiki Rice is rebounding the ball really well and doing a good job of playmaking. Gianna Neepkins is just being, the great player that she is. And this is a road game as well. It's not easy to play in Ohio or play at Ohio State and win on a Sunday afternoon. So I'm very curious to see how they play and how Ohio State comes out and tries to make sure, or try to, get that upset, get that second win in the Big Ten. I think Jeloni Cambridge could have a really good game. I think a lot of times when you have these kinds of games and there's upsets, it comes down to guard play and three-point shooting. Not to say that Jeloni Cambridge is a great three-point shooter, but if she's able to control the game for her team and get them confident and they're able to shoot the three ball well, there's a chance they win this game. Then we have Penn State, Iowa. Well, Penn State played really good against South Carolina. Well, not really good, but they played a good first half against South Carolina. Iowa obviously fell to UConn, which most teams have, so not something that's like super surprising. And then we have USC and Nebraska next week on Monday. This is when we really start to get to conference play, which obviously I'm super excited about. There's just more options to watch on a nightly basis. It just gives you the opportunity to be like, okay, this game can show me a lot. This game can show me a lot. And it's just, basketball's just better when there's competition, when there's parity, when you feel like I don't know exactly who's going to win this game. It's just better. It just is. Whether it's men's college, women's college, NBA, WNBA, unrivaled, doesn't matter. Like, you want to be able to see competition. You want to see players have to play at their best to win the game. You want to see players tested and all those different things. So that's what we're getting right before the new year starts. And then in the new year, we are fully deep diving into conference play and diving into each teams and certain players and how they're playing in these games and how they look in different environments and things like that. So I cannot wait. I want to see how Vanderbilt does. They're playing really well. They're 12-0. Michaela Blakes looks really good. South Carolina is hitting their stride. I think Texas still looks like a top 2 team in the country. Like, South Dakota State gave them a run for a little bit today, and I think South Dakota State's a really good team, so I'm not surprised by that. But Texas just looks really good, and they haven't even had like their full rotation of players healthy, so that looks good. Hopefully Saylor Poffenbarger can get back soon. Bree McDaniel posted that she will not be returning or will not be playing this season. She's going to redshirt this season to rehab her injury and come back next season more healthy. So I don't want to say a loss because they haven't had her, but there was probably a hope that they would have her at some point, especially once Leah Bartelme went down. So it is a little bit of a I don't want to say letdown because she made the right decision for herself, and we always respect that. We always want the player to make the best decision for themselves. But there's definitely like a energetic letdown, like a letdown of energy more so than like a mental or physical letdown of like, oh my God, I can't believe she did that. More of like, oh, when she gets back, we'll have this, and then, oh, she's not coming back. Okay, so now you have to just figure out what you're gonna do, or like how you're gonna continue to play without a player of that caliber. Like, Bree McDaniel is a really good player. She's really experienced. She's seen a lot. So, yeah, but then we got LSU, start of the year. They play Kentucky. Big game for them. Michigan plays Washington. So, it's going to be a lot of game previews coming up in the new year and things like that. But can't wait to see how some of these teams start to really prove themselves and really separate themselves, because the top 6, the top 10 has been the same for the last 3 weeks, I want to say. I don't think anything's changed in the last 3 weeks in terms of the top 10. As I make my own personal top 10 rankings every week on TikTok, but I don't think anything has changed over the last 3 weeks since the Texas, South Carolina, UCLA games. I think it's been UConn at 1, Texas at 2, South Carolina at 3, UCLA at 4, LSU at 5, Michigan 6, Maryland 7, TCU at 8, Oklahoma 9, and then Iowa State at 10 for at least 3 weeks. Could have been longer. Maybe it hasn't been. But I just think once we get into this and teams have to start playing each other and all those different things happen, we're not going to start, poo-pooing on people because they're losing games or anything like that. It's just we want to see the best players play against each other, the best teams play against each other, the best coaches coach against each other. And I just can't wait. But we're not there yet. We are almost there, but make sure you guys are coming back so we can talk about those things when they do happen. And I appreciate everybody that tunes in.